Quite often, we meet security practitioners who've put a great deal of genuine care and hard work into developing strong security programs and services, only to end up baffled by executives' lack of engagement, sidelined by negative feedback on risk management decisions, or battling internal customers' unwillingness to comply with policies. Our advice to these leaders is threefold. Take a good look at your security foundation, learn how to tell a compelling security story, and make sure that you are considering your conditions and circumstances. Sometimes security leaders get so focused on rolling out the right programs that they don't stop to think about the foundations those programs will be built upon. Imagine starting a house renovation without knowing when the house was built, what the codes are, what features the occupants really care about, or how much they have to spend. Sounds ridiculous, but that's exactly what happens when security leaders fail to analyze their foundations before they develop programs. Everything may look great at first, but before long, the cracks will start to appear. The SEC has identified a universe of 115 security success elements. Today, we're concentrating on the foundational factors that can help security practitioners create stable programs that can handle change and growth. The first foundational element is acknowledging where you are in the leadership continuum. Are you new to security or new to your industry? Are you future-oriented, or do you push the bounds and roles of security to innovate and build alignment? Where you are on the leadership continuum impacts what you can achieve in your organization. Does it fit with senior management's expectations of the security leader? Knowing this helps inform your strategic directions and communications. The second is your service delivery model. As you can see in this slide, there are several models of service delivery in security, but it's important to make sure that the security function is on the same page with the organization about what model you do and will fall under. Often security leaders enter new positions assuming that their delivery model will provide them in-house resources, only to discover they are expected to be an army of one. How does your organization expect security services to be delivered, and how does that align with your own expectations and plans? Next is your program defensibility. In the case of a catastrophic negative impact from a risk event, could you and your security team be held legally accountable? Recent changes in case law allow for security programs to be found negligent for not meeting professional security standards. And what about other types of defensibility? Would your actions be defensible to victims and their families, to employees, shareholders, or the media in the court of public opinion? These questions all point back to documentation, communication, and duty of care. How mature is your program? Is it in startup mode? Does it offer consistency of service? Is it well defined and documented? Does it contribute to revenue or help build new business? Just as your leadership status impacts your foundation, so does the maturity of the function itself. In the description of this video, you'll find links to a series of free security program maturity assessments that you can take if you wonder about your answer to this question. How well are you able to influence senior executives? To create a foundation of executive influence, you need to have continual discussions with stakeholders on security's value proposition. You need to exhibit how each area of the company, audit, sales, comptroller, marketing, R&D, uses and benefits from security services. To do that, you need to analyze security's capacity and capabilities. We'll get to a specific example of executive influence communication later in this presentation. It's also important to develop security measures and metrics. This is related to executive influence in that metrics provide an objective account of the impact of your security programs. You might start with counts, like number of badges issued, but consider operational excellence metrics and business value metrics, which are more of what the business side is looking for security to demonstrate. It's what they care about getting for their money spent on security. Meaningful measurement is central to performance assessment and resource management. Aligning board-level risk with security mitigation efforts is another critical foundation element to analyze. If your company is publicly traded, have you reviewed your company's 10K? Did security contribute to it? If not, look for security-related risks. Do your existing or projected security services and programs line up with the risks identified by your company? Your programs should be based on risk and risk assessments instead of historical incidents or crisis of the moment executive mandates. The final foundational element is unified risk oversight. Too often risk is managed in silos across an organization. Security can play an important part in making sure risk is managed jointly. For example, consider helping to start an operational risk council internally. This could dovetail with the enterprise risk management program and help to achieve a centralized communication process. Security can also help the organization understand that with risk mitigation comes residual risk. These 8 elements should all be in place before you build out your security programs. Often we find practitioners skip these and go right into building programs and services. You'll be much more successful if you have these in place first. Another reason security sometimes stumbles is that they don't have a solid security story. As we mentioned before, this is related to executive influence. The security function demands a compelling story. Without one, stakeholders have no idea what security does for the business. It may appear from the outside as a loose jumble of programs and services, rather than a purposeful, strategy-driven, value-enhancing internal organization. A good story can be used to clearly articulate the value and capability of security at all levels of the organization to all audiences. That said, it should be unique to its audience. That means management, consumers, internal customers, and staff likely will all need to be told a unique version of the same security story. Also, stories need to be updated over time. The SEC believes a good story needs to have good visualization. Here are a few generic examples we have helped clients put together to tell their story. This final point seems obvious, but many security leaders don't stop to consider the impact security's circumstances, culture, current conditions, and resources have on their plans, what we call the C4R. These describe your operating environment, much of which may be out of your control and influence. You may have great plans, but if you don't consider the C4R, those plans will likely fail to gain traction. For example, you may develop an amazing new program strategy, but if it will cost $30,000 and you have $3,000 available, the time you spent developing that strategy may be wasted. You can't control your organizational culture, your budget, or the trajectory of current events. However, assessing them will inform your risk decisions and priorities, and it will help you to make the most of what you have. We work collaboratively with practitioners, providing guidance, research, and feedback to help you reach your goals. 20 years of collective knowledge and security have given us a unique insight. We know all the options, and we know the questions you need to answer to make plans successful in your organization. To talk to the SEC about how we can leverage this process to help you, email us at contact@secleader.com.